So, does size matter? Well, you ask a lot of people and they'll say, yeah, of course it does. And you have your big rigs, right? Your Super Cs, your Class A's, whether it's gas or diesel, the big bus. But there's a newcomer in town, something that's a little bit smaller. And no, I'm not talking Class Bs. What I'm talking about is a small Class C. These are becoming more and more popular, and what I have right here for you is actually the all-new College Avenue by East to West. This is the 2001. You know, you're under 25 foot, and they've really done a lot to this motorhome just to make it very appealing, right? It's bigger than a Class B. You have a lot more room because it is a Class C. You have 7-foot interior height, 101-inch exterior width. You know, you have the front cap on here. You have Asdel composite panels. You're looking at a partial paint job that comes standard, and it's gorgeous. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. First thing I want to talk about, though, is going to be the name. Why College Ave? Well, believe it or not, that's actually where Forest River got its start. That's the road it started on. And so, kind of as a nod to the late Pete Legal and Forest River as a whole, I present to you the College Ave. And as I said, this one is the 2001. So as we step inside, what you'll notice, let's talk a little bit about floor plan, because I don't think it's going to be super mind-blowing, right? You've probably seen this floor plan before. You have your campside kitchen, rear bed, bathroom over to the side, sink, wardrobe. You can see right over here is going to be the dinette, and then of course up front is the cabover. So why am I showing this to you? What's different about this one? Well, there's quite a few things. To start, right, let's go back to the kitchen. What you'll notice is that instead of a T-mold or thermoform, you're looking at solid surface countertops. And that's something you normally have to go into super high-end motorhomes in order to get, at least, you know, we're talking Class Cs. And that's not the case here. You're gonna be more of like a mid-price point for this Class C. And I love that they put in better countertops. Now, of course, whenever you put in a solid surface, man, oh man, you better undermount the sink or what are you doing? And of course, they did there. That is stainless as well. You have the two-tone faucet. They really just did a really good job, in my opinion, of the finishes in here, right? Of your two-tone wood here. You know, up top, a little bit lighter. Down below, it's going to be a little bit darker. As I open this up, you can see there is some storage in there. You also notice right over to the side when we talk appliances, yes, this one has, you know, we've seen this in a lot of different RVs now. This is like the 3-in-1, right? It's a microwave, it's convection, it's air fryer, it can dehydrate. Yeah, it really does all that. And if you've never used an air fryer, you need to. They're amazing. Now, equally impressive to the air fryer convection super combo is going to be this right here, and that is our fridge freezer. This is a 10.7 cubic foot 12-volt fridge freezer. So, you know, you're getting an extra almost 3 cubic foot over your standard 8. And I don't know about you, but I eat a lot, right? Like, I want to be able to store a lot of food, and this right here does the trick. Now, something else I really, really like about this floor plan that's different than a lot of others is going to be this right back here. So, generally speaking, in this floor plan, this is going to be like a full-size bed. But in the College Ave, this is a 60 by 80 residential queen size bed. Let me say that again, a 60 by 80 residential queen bed. So if you want to swap that out for another mattress, it's super easy to do so. You have queen sheets, it's going to fit. That's awesome. You also see a ton of overhead storage here, which is great. Lights underneath, big windows as well. And we'll get to the windows in a second when I go over to the dinette, but I really like these windows. I mean, take a look at how clean they are, right? You don't have like the big, you know, chunky window dressing all the way around. You know, it's clean. And it's easy to use here as well. I mean, you know what? I said I was going to do it later. I lied. Let's do it now. So what you'll see for these windows, yes, they do open. This one is an emergency exit, so it opens a little bit differently, but you can see you have a crank right back there. So yes, you can crank these open. Now, if you want privacy, this pulls down, giving you full privacy. If you want to open these up and have a breeze, you can lift this up, and now you have a screen. This is magnetic, so it just clips together. So yes, if you want, you can keep them together as well. Super, super cool window system. Speaking of cool, what's even cooler is on the opposite side of this, there is a reflective backing, and I will show you that when we go outside, but that will do a good job of helping, again, just to keep things a little bit cooler in this coach. The other thing that helps keep it cool, Right here, we have ducted AC. You have a 15,000 BTU AC to keep things nice and cool. What's even better is that one also has an electric heat pump. So as long as it's not, too crazy cold outside, as long as it's not freezing, that right there is electric heat, which most of the time is free heat, helping to keep things nice and toasty. Now let's get back into it. You'll see that you have a sink outside the bathroom. I personally am a fan of this. I know not everyone is, but I use the bathroom a lot. I like the ability to have my wife be out here and get ready or brush teeth, do whatever needs to happen. And right in here, well, I can do my business. So if I'm going to do my business, how much space do I have? That's a great question. Yeah, not bad, right? I have enough space here for my knees, for my elbows too, I guess, but shoulders, yeah, that's pretty good. I can spend some time here. I can do some work. Stepping into the shower, again, I talked about this. You have 84-inch ceiling height in the Class C, so even with the elevated platform, I still, at 6 foot tall, have enough space in here. I could probably be 6'1", so able to stand in here without ducking down, which is pretty darn cool. You also see you have a built-in shower door. This right here is antimicrobial, so you don't have to worry about putting it away wet. It'll be just fine. You will also see right over here, you're going to have some robe hooks, probably more like towel hooks. I don't know, maybe you rock a robe. I have one. I'm gonna bring it RVing next time. I keep talking about it, I'm going to do it. But as I mentioned, outside here you have the mirrored medicine cabinet, good storage space. You have the sink there. You will also see this. This is a on-demand water heater, so you basically have limitless hot water, which is wonderful. A little bit of storage space underneath for black tank chemical, whatever else you need to store in there. Now, what you will notice is there is privacy, right? So this section, if you want to close this off, if you have guests that are staying, up in the cabover or something like that, or, maybe you have some little ones that are sleeping on the dinette, you do have privacy here in the form of this screen door right here. This you can just pull right across and it will actually just attach right here on the other side of the wardrobe. So, you can kind of get that private bedroom. But if you need a spot to store your clothes, do not fret. There is a nice big wardrobe in here. And I personally really like this style. A lot of manufacturers just put a hanging rod in here. The problem with that is that, believe it or not, this travels, right? It's meant to go down the road. Well, as you're going down the road and it's just a bar, the hangers tend to fall off. With these, though, they actually hold in there a lot better, and in my experience, the clothes don't move, they don't fold nearly, fall off nearly as much. I think these just hold a lot better, and they're designed to have the hanger in the right way, rather than having it like sideways or on an angle or something like this. My opinion, those just work a lot better. You also see 2 drawers down here. Oh, speaking of, watch this, ready? Door. Oh, nice and slow, right? Same thing here, drawer. Look at that. We have soft closed drawers. That's something a lot of us have in home. A lot of us don't have it in RVs. And again, I think that is a nice touch. Let's take a look kind of across the way. This is going to be the dinette. So storage right up top here. The dinette itself, you have 2 seat belts, but one of my favorite parts about this dinette is this. Look at that. You don't have legs, right? So you can easily sit 4 people here, and if you're going to play a card game, it's not going to be an issue. People aren't going to be bumping into each other. It does drop down into a bed. It's not super huge, right? You're looking at a 42 by 68 inch. So, it might be able to sleep an adult depending on how tall they are. 68's a little short for me, but I can curl up a little bit and I can make it happen. Another thing I do like is if we take a look right down here, you have 24-inch deep dinette drawers, right? So 2 foot of space right there. You can see your spray hose for outside as well, but that's super easy access. And again, those are going to be slow close. If we take a look up top, this is the cabover bed. I'm told this is a 500-pound weight capacity. You will see the telescoping ladder so that it's nice and easy to climb up in there. And again, this is a 60 by 80 queen size bed. So yes, you can have normal sheets, which is awesome. You also see right over here, you have some cup holders right there, a little bit of storage, plus dual USB ports and a 40-inch 12-volt TV. So that way you don't need a generator, you don't need shore power to be able to run the TV. You can do it off the batteries if you so choose. Now, another thing you can do is, we talked a little bit about the AC and being hot. I do want to mention there is a fantastic fan right here with, max air fan with a rain sensor on there as well. So not only will that help with smells, but if it's a hot day like today, you can open a window up, turn that on, and it will suck that breeze right through here, cooling things off in a hurry. So let's take a look outside, right? Because again, there are some things out there that I do really want to touch on. As we drop down, I just kind of want to show you this. This one does have the optional solar panel, right? So you have a 30 amp charge controller on here, 200 watts of solar. Battery disconnect will be located right there as well. But as we step outside here, just take a look at how beautiful this coach is. The reason I like this, right, I want to get into it, and this is the whole College Ave line, right? This is honestly one of my favorite parts is the exterior. This right here is what they call partial paint, okay? And what that means is essentially all this black right here is going to be painted, including right up here on the coach, right? Blends beautifully. All that is painted. This white part is going to be the fiberglass. Now, why is that important? Why is that good? Well, paint is expensive. If you get a full body paint, right, it's pricey. And these are available in full body, by the way. You can get 3 different colors if that is more your speed. But here's the thing, whether you do full body paint or you do partial paint, you have to have upgraded fiberglass, right? You have to, or else it won't stick. You'll see all the striations. It looks terrible. It doesn't work well. This is Lamilux 4000, which is one of the top of the end fiberglasses in the industry. And they have to have it on here because they did paint. So you're getting the top of the line fiberglass, it essentially at a fraction of the cost because it's partial paint and it's that way straight from the factory. Again, folks, that for me is just a huge selling point. A couple other things I want to point out here on the outside. One, despite being a shorter coach, right? This one is built on the 450 chassis, the Ford E450. Most of the time, when you're under 25 foot, you're in a 350. That is not the case. You have the 450 right there. So you're getting that beefed up suspension, right? It allows you to put on a 7,500 pound hitch so you can tow a heck of a lot more. And if we take a look right up top, look at that beautiful cap. Yeah, that is an actual painted front cap. So rather than having seams right here where all the water's gonna get in and get it all wet, well, now this wraps all the way around to the side right here, and water's just not gonna get in there, right? As you're driving down the road, the rain's gonna hit here and it's just gonna wash right away rather than getting inside and cause all sorts of issues in the wall. And that's commonly been one of the big problems with Class Cs over the years is water getting up in that front cap, right? That's what happened to my grandparents. If you grew up with a Class C motorhome, may have been the same thing for you, but that front cap will definitely help prevent a lot of that. Another thing I want to talk about is the windows themselves. We saw it when we were inside. Man, look how shiny everything is. I love it. But you get the square windows on here, and I don't have that one down, but you can kind of see, well, maybe not, the reflection is really strong. But right up there is essentially that foil so that you can see the reflection. I might be able to see it in the back one here. If you want an outside TV, you do have TV connections right here. And if we drop down a little bit, you will see that you have some additional storage. Now that is going to be a composite, so it's nice and easy to wash out. Speaking of composite, behind this upgraded fiberglass, that Lamilux 4000, you're going to have Azdel composite panels rather than Luan. There's some big advantages to that. It's lighter weight. It won't absorb any moisture, so you have much, much less chance of delamination. I mean, it almost completely eliminates a chance for delamination. And it's not gonna have any off-gassing, right? So it's not gonna smell nearly as bad. Azdel is huge. It's a lot of manufacturers starting to go to it. Love to see it on Class Cs here as well. As I talk about with that window, you can kind of see right in here. You can kind of see it a little bit. Yeah, so you can, that is going to be that reflective backing to help keep heat out. All right, walk you through a little last bit here. You can see, again, nice big storage right back there is going to be a drain. Your tankless water heater right here. Now, the big storage on this one is gonna be this one right here, right? This one, you ready for this? Kaboom, there we go. Huge storage right here. It does have a motion sensor light there as well. Now the other side isn't going to be quite as big. I'll show you when we go over there. But I mean, this side, you have a massive door. You can fit all sorts of stuff back here. That's, you know, for being such a small coach and having that much storage, it's wonderful. Got the big power awning with an LED light right there. Ladder, so you can climb up onto the fully walkable roof. Boop, 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 boop. And while you're up there, the roofing material is going to be the Alpha Ply Superflex, that is the TPO roof, right? So it's an upgraded TPO roof. It's actually thicker than PVC. They say it has 5 times more adhesion, so you know, less chance for it to come off or have bubbles or anything like that. You'll also see it right up here. That's going to be your backup camera. And as we talked about earlier, when we drop down, boom, That's big. That's 7,500 pounds, folks, right there. So if you want to be able to tow a larger vehicle with a smaller Class C, this is a great one. You can see it has the 7-way there. You also have a propane quick connect right over here. So if you want to do some grilling and chilling, you can absolutely do that. But to be able to have a small Class C like this with that much tow capability, my opinion, is pretty darn impressive. Now when we get to the rest of the storage, kind of drop this down again, you can see that you know, it's not quite as much space on this side, but it's still going to be significant, especially with all that pass-through. Your wet bay is going to kind of be right here, so you can see your valve bodies are going to be located right in there, so it's nice and clean. You have your light in case you're hooking up at night, your water connections, including a black tank flush, your spray port there. This one is going to be 30 amp. Cable and satellite will be right over to the side there. Of course, propane, some additional storage right up front. And something else that I didn't show, but is really cool, is this one is prepped for Starlink. So if you have a portable Starlink or you want one, you can hook that up, and it's super simple. It just plugs in. There's a space in one of the compartments where it plugs in, and then inside there's a spot for your router to plug in, so that way you can have internet no matter where you are. I'm telling you folks, the College Ave, I think, is a great line. It just gives you a lot of features for the price point. You know, it's well built and it's well appointed. You're interested in this one, you want price and availability, there will be a link in the description. Just know that they are brand new. So if you click that link and you're not seeing anything yet, it's gonna take a little bit for these to get to the lot. But again, I think this one is fantastic. Thanks for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and until next time, we'll see you.